What's up? You're listening to the No Tracers podcast, all about urban exploring, abandonment, and decay. Let's get into it. Step into the world of decay, abandonment, and chaos. The story of an urban explorer starts here, at the beginning. Welcome to the podcast you've been looking for all along. This is No Tracers. Here, we take only photos. We leave only footprints. And remember, leave no trace. Hello, welcome to No Tracers. I'm your host, Kay, just the letter K. I'm known as No Tracers. You can find me on Instagram, no.tracers, or YouTube, No Tracers Urbex. My TikTok is also No Tracers. All things No Tracers, notracers.com, everything. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the No Tracers podcast. If you're into urban exploring, this is the podcast for you. Thank you so much. We're closing out the year here, 2022. What a year it's been for not only this podcast, but for like life in general. It's been quite a year. Thank you guys for making No Tracers one of the top shows in the society and culture section of Apple Podcasts. And if you didn't see my my post about how many like downloads we got this year, thank you guys for listening to No Tracers every single Friday. It means a lot to me. If you want to come on No Tracers in 2023, my email is now open. contact@notracers.com. Send me your Instagram or your YouTube or whatever, and let me know that you want to come on the show, and we'll get you on the schedule. I'm super stoked for 2023. It's going to be a crazy year. It's going to be amazing. And I say that because Dr. Pepper has 23 flavors in it. Therefore, it has to be a good year because Dr. Pepper is the greatest drink. Aside from Liquid Death Mountain Water, who actually happens to be a partner of the No Tracers podcast. You like that segue? That was pretty smooth. But yeah, Liquid Death is Austrian mountain water, and it comes in these amazing aluminum cans. It's canned water, so death to plastic. Fuck plastic. Get you some canned water at liquiddeath.com. Use code just the letter K for 10% off your order. This week on the No Tracers podcast, I am speaking with Jay. He's known as UrbexLiving. His links are down in the description if you want to check out his Instagram or YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. This is an amazing episode. He's got some really close calls that he's going to be sharing with us, which is always exciting to hear about. And a story about the time that he fell an entire story of a building. So let's get into it. Without further ado, Jay, please introduce yourself and how long you've been exploring to the No Tracers audience.
So my name is Jay. Been exploring for probably right around like 9 years now. It didn't used to be as often, but I got my start at a abandoned whiskey distillery in Pennsylvania a while back, like 2014, I would say, somewhere around there. That was a pretty massive place.
Yeah, take me into that first explore. Like, you know, a lot of people do like a house or, you know, something smaller for their first exploration. But I mean, a whiskey distillery, that's a big building.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was it's 192 acres is the whole property.
Wow.
It was about 14 buildings, right around, I think they're all pretty much 3 stories, some of them 4. But yeah, I mean, I don't even remember honestly how I found it. I think I just kind of was looking around, just Googling abandoned places, and I found that, and it was about an hour away from me. So it's like, oh, okay, I'll like bring a friend and go check that out. And I did that. It's right near a big nuclear power plant, so you can actually see the smokestacks that are like less than a mile away, which is pretty cool as well when you're up on the rooftops of those buildings. But that was actually the only place I've ever gotten caught. So I would usually use that place as a bringing new people in to Urbex, and I would show them around and be their like kind of guide there. So I've been there about like 9 or 10 times. And then, you know, over the years, they keep sealing up new entrances and stuff like that. So it's really difficult to get into anything now, but it was a lot easier back then. And It's funny. The only time I got caught was because the people I brought, one of my friends and his girlfriend at the time, and she did not pack well, as I wanted, uh, pretty much as I told everybody to what to bring. Jeans. We're gonna be walking through some woods, boots, long sleeves, because and we're doing it at night too, so that doesn't always help either. So she brought flip flops, short shorts, and a spaghetti top
Oh no.
along. So that was not my place to you know confront her on that. So basically, I just kind of caved in, which was my fault, and I was like, all right, we'll just go through the front, so we don't have to go through all the woods. This house is right across the street from the front entrance. So as we were going across the road, their spotlight turned on, and I look behind, and I see someone peering out the window. I was like, well, hopefully they don't call the cops, but they probably will. So we probably don't have too much time. And sure enough, within half an hour, I see my friend like points something like eye level, like about like 100 meters away from us. It's like a little green dot. So it's not up in the sky. It's not like it's a cell tower or something. And we're like, what is that? And we're both in the Army. And we're looking at it for a little bit. And then like all of a sudden, right where that green dot is, like a flashlight turns on right where that spot is. And then we're like, oh shit. Okay. Well, it might be somebody, exploring too, because they didn't say anything yet. So I kind of yell out like, hello, no answer. So I was like, all right, let's turn around in the woods, kind of fast walk away, and we'll take a right, try to get around and get out of here the back way. And as we start walking away, we hear police department, don't run. And we're like, oh, fuck. So we, I quick, just kind of go over to the side there, put my backpack on the ground, and they're telling us not to run. And I'm like, okay, well, I would, but I had enough. I can run fast enough, but definitely his girlfriend would not be able to run with those flip flops. So we were kind of screwed there, and they came up, searched our stuff, got our IDs. They pulled out our military IDs. They're like, we'd expect this out of Marines, but not the Army. I'm like, well, okay, fair enough. But like they ended up just citing us. But it was funny. They brought out what that green dot was. It was they had night vision.
Oh, what?
And
damn.
Yeah, they brought the whole squad out. There was 12 cops there.
Damn.
They all had their ARs, and I don't know what they expected, but they just found
a lot.
3 kids fucking exploring. So it wasn't their grand bust they probably hoped for.
Yeah,
but,
that's wild.
Yeah, because we didn't have anything with us. So.
My God. So. Let me ask you this. So sure. Exploring isn't like a normal thing, right? Like not everybody does this. What is it? Like, are we like a little crazy to do this? Like, what is it about exploring that makes you keep going back?
No, I agree. It's definitely not a normal thing. And I think at least for me, like there's a couple things. I think the adrenaline is one thing. I do enjoy that. Like, over the years, I've been going to riskier and riskier places just for the fact of the adrenaline of getting around security and overcoming some of those obstacles. But I also like, I own a video and video production business, so I'm always kind of into that photo and video anyways, and I like documenting my times and my explorations. So there's a little bit of adrenaline, a little bit of like the art aspect of it. I like the decaying kind of feel to those buildings. I think it's like stopped in time. I like that. I like kind of like it's almost like stepping back into history.
Yeah.
Because some of the things you can find, like I found like really old newspapers dated. I found stock exchange pages dated 1929 in a farmhouse one time, and I still have that. That's pretty cool to have. It's like a full yellow newspaper.
Wow.
With all the prices from the stocks from back then, it's pretty wild.
That's crazy. So check it out, just as like a side tangent. So I have this goal in 5 years to open an Urbex museum, and
that would be awesome.
I know that one of the like key rules or whatever that is like unspoken is like don't take stuff, but we all take stuff. Okay, we all have done
it's
it.
the little things you want to.
It's the little things, the little
preserve.
trinkets, like the things you want to preserve. And so I want to have people. I don't think it's bad. I want people to be able to like submit their artifacts along with a photo and the story of like what it is and where they found it, that kind of thing, into this museum. And stuff like that, like what you just talked about, would be so perfect for it. So I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. But yeah, it's definitely like a huge goal of mine to open like a traveling urban exploring museum kind of thing. And so awesome. That's a huge goal. So hopefully everyone in the community gets behind it, and we'll see what happens. But so yeah, you have a media company, photo, video. When did photography and video come into your life? Like, when did you first pick up a camera?
I mean, I got like literally my first camera. I think I was in like 7th grade. Like, it was like one of those like point and shoot, like $60 ones from Walmart.
Like a Canon Power Shot, or like
exactly. Yeah, it was like old school though. It was did nothing. It did not look good at all. But I just kind of picked that up. I was like, back then, like, YouTube didn't exist, so like, I was like vlogging, but didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. But I would just do that around my neighborhood and stuff like that, and I just kind of like got into it, and then eventually, when I got into high school and stuff, I started taking video classes. I started like learning a lot of stuff on my own on YouTube, and ended up going to actual like film school, but dropped out of that because after my 3rd year, because I wasn't learning anything that I didn't already teach myself or learn online. And don't go to film school, kids. It's you can learn everything online for free.
True. It's true.
But actually, going back to that, what you just said about the museum. Funny enough, I found a blueprints in pretty good shape from that whiskey distillery.
Wow.
And I didn't like know what the original name of the place was until I found those blueprints, and it's called Kinsey Distillery, and it's actually the first distillery that brought whiskey to America. Wow. And I posted that on our local like Facebook group for exploring, and someone DM'd me because I was asking information if anyone's ever seen this or has any more information on this, and I had a guy DM me asking like to buy it.
The blueprint?
From me. Yeah. He offered me $500.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, well, if you're going to like offer me right off the bat, like I got to figure out what this thing is. It's not like we have Pawn Stars around here. You can just kind of go like,
yeah, like here, I have this old blueprint.
What is this?
Like, what is it?
Yeah. I was like, I like it. I didn't sell it because I kind of like the sentimental value of it. Sure. But he offered up to $1,000 for it at the end. And I kept denying him, and he offered me $1,000. And I was like, nah, it's probably worth something. So if you're offering this much money for it, I'm just going to hang on to it.
Wild. Yeah. I mean, have you ever gotten like other DMs or like emails or anything like that about other spots? Because me personally, like I've explored a bunch of places all over the country, all over the world. And I get emails from like hospitals, like staff that used to work at hospitals, or people that were patients as kids, saying like, wow, it's so crazy to see what this looks like now. I was a kid there and I used to run down those hallways. Like, have you ever gotten like other DMs aside from that blueprint?
When I post occasionally on Facebook, I just post on my Instagram, but I'll post on like the local group sometimes, and I get it from there. The comments of like, you post something, and it's a lot of the older people that like, oh, my grandfather worked there, or I used to work there like a long time ago. Like, and that's pretty cool to see, because it's like, and because sometimes they'll share pictures, and of them like back then, which is really cool, because it's like, again, it's like it's stopped in history. It's really kind of fascinating to go into those things, to those places that are just like, especially the ones that they still have a lot of stuff in them,
right? And
it's just like, how did they just leave it like this?
I ask myself that every time I go into a building.
Yeah, it's like everyone just disappeared.
Yeah,
I've been in a school that was like almost like fully furnished.
Wow.
Still had power, but it was abandoned for like at that point like 6 years. Not even, I mean, there was a lot of water damage in the bottom floor, but everything was like just left. Like, same with there was a hotel I went to that was completely furnished. Like, it was abandoned. Not even like they took all their logos off the building. Like, it was just sitting.
Wow.
And when I walked in there, it was definitely the freshest place I've been to.
It's crazy.
But it was, I mean, the power was off, but everything was in there, like literally everything. You go into each room of the hotel, it's like you would not know.
Like you could check in there that night.
Yeah, exactly. Everything, like there was barely. I mean, there was a thin layer of dust on
Sure.
some stuff, but it was only abandoned for a year.
Wow.
But they just completely they ran out of money and it just went out of business. And you would
Crazy.
think they would like sell the stuff, but they
Sure.
didn't. I
Dang, that's
guess
so
they're a big
crazy.
enough company,
Yeah.
franchise or whatever, that it doesn't really matter, I guess, to them.
It's always baffling to me to go into like time capsule houses,
Hmm.
and it's like they literally just like evaporated into the air, and like all their stuff is there. Like I went to one the other day and we couldn't get in, so we left, but you look through the windows and there was just like furniture, everything's still in there, and it's just wild to experience something like that, because you're like, they could like come home any minute, but there's
Oh, yeah.
nobody. There's nobody. It's crazy. Do you have gear recommendations? Like, what kind of stuff do you bring into abandoned buildings? Like, what kind of bag do you have? Shoes,
Yeah.
lights, that kind of stuff. Like recommendations for people that are getting into the hobby that are like, I don't know what to bring. What do I do?
Yeah, for sure. I've gone through a couple different bags, but I found one that I like. It's a little bit bigger, but it depends what place I'm going to. I have a Maelstrom hiking backpack. It's 40 liter. It's pretty lightweight. It's got straps in the the front too, so you can secure it better. That's like $40 on Amazon. Really wasn't much, but it holds a lot. And then I have a drop leg pouch, which is it's just from Walmart. It was literally, or not Walmart. Amazon is like Antarctica waterproof, like tactical drop leg pouch. It just sits on my thigh, so if I usually I use that for like throw my camera in. Um, but it's either depending on the place. Like sometimes I don't bring my mirrorless camera too. Sometimes I just have GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a higher risk place that I'm going to be going through like faster or having to crawl, I'm not going to bring my nicer camera, unfortunately. But where I live, it's illegal. Some states actually, it's not illegal to explore abandoned places. It's like just decriminalized. It's not really a charge, but it's definitely a charge here in my state. So I have that. I have a GVS like SPR, like it's a P100 like mask
Mm-hmm.
for a respirator, I should say. Um, I don't use it as much as I should probably.
I feel like everyone says that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I feel like I've inhaled enough asbestos, so for a lifetime for sure.
Oh my god. I did an episode in like a year ago, and at the very end of it I was like, so one day there's going to be a commercial on TV. Like, those mesothelioma commercials?
Yep,
It's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be for
like,
us.
did you explore abandoned buildings in the early 2000s? You might be liable for compensation.
Of course, that's exactly what it's gonna be too.
For sure. Do you have asbestos poisoning? Well, you're a fucking idiot. Stay out of that house.
Exactly. Actually,
Oh,
I've been through a bunch of boots too, but I finally found ones that are my favorite of all time now, which are like these. It's from Solomon.
okay.
They're like hiking like shoes. So they don't have ankle support, but I find it's better as a um, like a running if you need to run or just kind of like articulate your foot differently and bend it. Um, yeah, it was like a Solomon Outline GTX hiking shoe. That was really nice. They're about I got it on sale for like $100, but they're usually around $130.
Gotcha.
And then I have my favorite flashlight. I always recommend this. It's a Fenix. I think it's got FENIX. It's a PD36. It's 3,000 lumen. It's really compact as well, but it outshines anything I've ever used.
Dope.
Yeah.
There's this product I saw on Twitter the other day. I'll have to put it in the description of this podcast, but it's like
Sure.
it's almost like a wrist brace. So you like wrap it around your thumb and then it wraps around your hand, but there's a light on the palm. And I was like,
Interesting.
dude, that's like such a cool idea for like exploring, but you would have to have something with like hella lumens or something that goes from like white to red, because we're like in the
Yeah.
dark sometimes. But like just the concept of that kind of blew me away. I was like, oh my God, then your hand's free and you can still keep exploring. Like that's brilliant. So I'll have to put that in the description, but I'll also put links to all those products you recommended down there as well.
Sure.
Have you ever gotten permission to explore a spot?
Let me think. I don't. Well, actually, technically, yeah, one time. But that was just like we said we were just gonna go film in it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." Like, because like it was kind of like unfair advantage is because it was a building that they were moving spots and they just kind of left it there as is, and my friend was their neighbor, so I just kind of went through him and they like had a rapport already, so they didn't see a problem with it. But I definitely don't think it's really like easy to ask permission
Yeah.
for a lot of these places because some of the owners you can't even get a hold of.
Yep.
Or they're in different countries.
Yep.
Like the people that own that whiskey distillery they live in Belgium.
Oh yeah, good luck.
For some reason they own that, but yeah, never gonna get a hold of them.
Nah. Yeah, it's wild, like getting permission for stuff. Like I've heard stories on this show of like the owners ended up giving them like a tour of the building, or the cops ended up giving them a tour of the building. Like there's some crazy stuff out there. And I just got a new car like a couple months ago, and the guy that sold me my car, I gave him one of my photography books about urban exploring that I've made and put out, just as like a thank you for getting me a car, all that stuff. Yeah. And he was like, so the dealership is actually moving in January, so this building is going to be abandoned. You should come film a music video here. And I was like, wait, are you like giving me permission to come here? So I'm trying to figure out like how I can get in there and like film in this dealership. I think it'd be just like a random thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. It's always wild. How about your most creative entrance?
That's a good one. You know what? Probably this asylum used to be a tuberculosis hospital, and it was always pretty boarded up. Not like really many people have ever gotten into it, and I had lucked out and just found an entrance the one time. And when I went back, I went there I think 3 times total, but I went back for 4th of July because I wanted to like watch the fireworks on the roof of this asylum.
Sick.
And and I got a dope picture from it too, but they welded that spot shut that I got in before. So I was like, okay, this got to be. I didn't make this whole drive all the way here to not get in. So I ended up finding like someone, I don't know who did it, but on it's like kind of like basement, I guess windows or whatever that it kind of goes down into the ground a little bit.
Yep.
So there was like that, but it was it's not a window. It was for like a vent or something, and someone had like just destroyed the concrete of the wall,
for
like
sure,
on the side, but it was like really skinny, and like I would have to I could not fit through with my backpack or anything like that, and I was trying to squeeze through it, and on the other side was like the boiler room, and there was like equipment and stuff like that. So like if I'm squeezing through, I'm like having to like contort my body everywhere to get around that equipment anyways. And below me on the ground of that like where they had cut through was all like nails and tools and stuff like that, all like sharp objects. So I'm like trying to like hover above that and not touch that while shimmying myself sideways, feet first through this thing, and not even like touching the ground at all. So that was interesting to get in. But I've definitely made some interesting entrances for a lot of places. But it's depending on the place. I've gone through climbed up walls, having to scale the sides of some of these buildings to get in through windows that are open like on the 2nd or 3rd story.
Oh my
and
God.
You're just like, all right, let me just do this and hopefully I don't die. I have fallen one time. It was more recently. It was because somebody left a rope. It was more of like a cord.
Oh no.
that was like tied up onto like the fourth floor, and I was like just trying to get up onto one floor, like onto this like little roof part. So I fell a floor, but
Oof.
um, I have a video of that too. But because I was with one of my partners I go with, and she was filming, and yeah, I definitely fell. It broke. It definitely didn't hold my weight,
Oh my god.
and I was at the top of it, so I was just about to like get over the edge, and it snapped, and I fell right down. Thankfully I hit the ground with my feet and rolled, and I was
Oh
fine. But that definitely wouldn't have been great if I felt any other way.
yeah. Oh my
There was
gosh.
security there too, so like we were trying to manage going around them as well because they had the entrance I went in the last time. That was at a high school. The entrance I went last time was closed. That's what it tends to be
Yeah,
a
for
lot.
sure. For sure. How about your scariest exploration or your like most dangerous or riskiest? Like those
Yeah,
are
definitely
all kind of
the
encompassing.
riskiest. Yeah, I mean I've had some encounters with junkies and stuff,
Hmm.
some crackheads here and there, and other explorers and stuff, and there's definitely been some dangerous situations. But I think the riskiest one was we wanted to get into this power station. We wanted to get to the roof of this power station, this giant place in Philadelphia, and it's right on the water. It's really cool looking, but they were starting to renovate it, just starting. So like they had all the construction equipment there, and I wanted to get in there because they filmed a scene of the Transformers in there.
Oh, sick.
Um, yeah, one of the battle scenes was in that place. So I really want to get in there before they like would completely renovate it because it's still empty. It was just they had just moved all the equipment and stuff in there, and there's cameras all over the place. So I was like, I know we're gonna get like the cops are gonna come here, but it's just a matter of how long it's gonna take them.
Hmm.
So we just wanted to like challenge ourselves and get to the roof and see if we could do it. So I strapped on a GoPro. We had like nothing with us really at all. Like I think I had a flashlight in my pocket and that was it. Like so we got in. It's pretty easy to get in. There was a lot of entrances. Just open up. There's power in there now since they were running all their construction lights. And we got up. We went through the whole place, and the alarm didn't go off until the very end when we were actually going to leave. So we got up to the roof. We're up there. We're taking pictures, taking some videos. It was at nighttime. We went down, and we had passed. They had left like just like tons of water, like cases of water.
Oh, okay.
We're like, oh, we're gonna like just take a bottle of water because we're thirsty. And um, when we're going back, crossing over the bottom section there to go to get like a bottle of water, the we heard like the alarm go off out of all times, and um,
It was a trap. They set a booby
yeah,
trap.
it really was, yeah, and it was like an audible, so it had like a voice.
Oh shit.
Um, yeah, it was saying I don't even know what it's saying, but then we started hearing dogs, and we're like, okay, it's time to run. So we started running. This is all on GoPro too. I think I did post a little clip of
Sick.
it um, on my Instagram, but we were sprinting to get out, and as we were like, we got outside, we slowed down. We're like, okay, um, like what's the plan here? We have to get back to the car, and then we start hitting the dogs again, and the alarm is still going, and we just start sprinting again for the where we came through, which was like a tiny hole in the bottom of this fence. And as we like run, my partner just slips right under, and my belt gets caught on some rebar, and I'm just trying to like shimmy to get myself out of that. And once I do, in we're like next to a park, and there's this like cop car entering the park with its lights on, and that's like literally like maybe half a football field away from us.
Oh my
Of
god.
he's going on this like loop of this road that goes like in a loop around this park. He goes in the further entrance. So we have like he's literally in front of us. He could see us if he like pointed his spotlight at us. And I see a spotlight. He's like panning it around
Oh my
the
god.
park trying to, and I'm like, we just start sprinting up the line of the fence like to the main road, and I'm just like, I think my partner's behind me, but I guess I left her a little bit behind. She wasn't as fast, but um, she did catch up, but it just took a little bit. But I got to the road. The cops are like right there. There's two cop cars now. I take a right. I'm sprinting up the road. There's these like two people just sitting by their car, like just random people, and they're staring at us, like sprinting by them with like we're in all black, like black hat, face mask,
You
gloves,
guys just like
everything
robbed
black.
a bank.
Yeah, and they could see the two cop cars like with
For
the lights
sure.
flashing, and I have no idea what they're thinking, but it must have been funny to watch that.
Oh my God.
They're like, I have no idea what they just did, but they're just sprinting right past us, and, and I end up going around like I run up another 2 blocks, and then like we hide in a bush for a little bit, and then like we make a big loop around to our car, and then get to our car, and we're good. We didn't get caught. We drive past, and there's like 3 cop cars there now.
If you're just waving with middle finger.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, hi, we're gone now. Like,
Get away. Oh my God, we love a good getaway story.
No, it was
So
great.
good.
It was great. But that adrenaline is that's what I get. That's what I live
It's real.
for.
It's real.
Yeah.
Has anything ever made you want to stop exploring or like take a break?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think I've just been doing it for so long. Um, I don't I don't ever want to really stop doing it. I would say like I'm more choosy about where I go now.
Sure.
I think like to make the drives worth it.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
Like I know some people they'll drive like 2 hours to go just see like a little house or something that's not really anything special. Has graffiti all over it.
Yeah.
But like I think I'm a little more choosy now with the time it takes for me to get there. Because I'm also like I'm always busy with my business, and so it's a little bit harder for me to get out as much as I want to now. But definitely definitely always want to keep doing it. It's just like the matter of I'm running out of spots now around the 3 hour radius. Honestly, now I have
For
to start
sure.
pushing out.
Yeah.
And then it really has to be like, is it going to be worth it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I did a 5-hour drive over the weekend down south, and we got into one of the like 7 locations we were trying to get into, and I was like, the fuck, like
Yeah,
why
that sucks.
why did I do? But it was cool because I got to like meet new people and like hang out with this group that I've wanted to meet up with, so it was worth it. We just like didn't really get anything, so
Yeah.
got to go to another area. But we were in like the Bible Belt, like not the place you want to really be exploring on a Sunday, like everybody's home from church. Like we tried to get into one house, and all of a sudden we hear the neighbors come outside, and they're like, y'all got to get out of that house. We're like, oh fuck, they're going to literally kill us. We got to go. I mean, like we're talking like towns with the population of like 120 people.
Oh, yes,
Like,
everyone knows. Yeah.
Everyone knows we're there. We look hella out of place. We're just not supposed to be there, So that was pretty wild. But do you have any funny urbex stories?
Funny or I mean,
The one you just told was pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've run into people that, oh yeah, I guess at the hotel, I went back there the one night, and there was a car coming down there's a one way in, one way out of this place. So it's not a great, for peace of mind. But
Yeah.
a quick dip in this like fenced in like where their generator is outside, I guess, or where their AC and power stuff is, and I'm staring at this like guy crouching with a headlamp on in back of the little AC like box or whatever, and I'm like just staring. Like it's not connecting in my brain. Like there's some random guy here where this is like 1 a.m. and that's probably not normal. And I'm thinking like, is this a worker? But like at the same time, like, wait, it's 1 a.m.
For sure.
Like, and I just like look at him, and he just kind of looks at me. He's like, hello. And I'm like, hello? Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, same as you. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, and I guess they were actually just scrappers.
For sure.
I found out. Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I'm just he's like, what are you here for? I was like, I'm just exploring. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, we're just here for the medal. And I'm like, oh, fair
For
enough,
sure.
man.
For sure, guy. You keep
Yeah,
doing what
like,
you're doing. I'll be over here.
yeah. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to head inside. Um, you do you, man. And they actually, it's funny because they spotted us as we left too. So they're actually pretty cool guys. There's two of them. But I usually don't like scrappers, but
Yeah.
they, they're decent to us.
That's good. Yeah, it's always weird running into other people when you're in a bando or about to go in or whatever. Like we
Yeah.
did this abandoned. It was like a YMCA or youth center or something,
Mhm.
a super well known spot out in California, and there were like homeless people squatting in the building, and one of them like came out of one of the rooms, and they were like, "Hey, do you guys need a place to stay tonight?" And we were like, "I'm sorry, what?" Nah, we're all set, thanks. But yeah, those like funny little moments always like stick with me for sure. Do you have a
I,
favorite exploration overall?
um, favorite. That's hard. I mean, I feel like without being sentimental, I would say because I feel like I would just pick the Linfield, but when I think about it, there's really not much there. It's just like a bunch of empty buildings for the most part. It's all kind of run down now, but I would say honestly something new I just did. I don't know if you ever explored on a holiday, but I explored on Thanksgiving,
Bro,
and
Thanksgiving is the day. That is
yeah,
Urbex
yeah,
holiday. Let's go.
facts. And I literally made it back for dinner too, so it was great.
Dude, that's
But
what's up.
I explored. I just started posting some footage from it.
Uh,
I'm gonna end up posting it on YouTube, but it was a power station, pretty massive one. I got drone footage of it too,
dope.
but that place had one security guard there that we were kind of going. We had to walk pretty far. We had to walk across like a 200-foot high train bridge, and I'm not the greatest at like really tall heights when I don't have anything to hang on to,
For sure.
you know. So when I'm walking on this thing, we're pretty much almost crawling on it at some points. There's like you're just walking across, and there's nothing stopping you from like just like if your foot just lands wrong on the tracks, like you're going through.
Damn.
So I'm like being very cautious, and the guy that was with me too, he's deathly afraid of heights, so he was crawling, and and it was a pretty long bridge. It was over a big river,
Great.
and yeah, it was amazing with rocks under there. I was like, this is great.
Awesome.
This is our
This is my
but
dream.
yeah,
For sure.
exactly. But the way that we thought we were going to go in was, you know, we couldn't do anymore because of that security guard that was there. That
Yeah.
the knowledge that we got from the place from people, friends of mine that explore as well, is he didn't have any security guards when he went, so we kind of that was a we're thrown for a loop there. So we had to plan on the fly and find a new way. We ended up doing that, and then we found because my friends they entered through a coal chute, and that went up to like the I don't even know how many floors it is. I mean, it's probably like a 10-story building or something.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a pretty big place, but has power and everything. Like they're I think they're gearing up to sell it actually, um, but it's just been abandoned for a while. So we got in. We actually just got in through a door. Like it was our last resort. Like we were just checking all these doors. Everything's locked. We're like, I don't want to. The coal chute is like to enter that is like next to the security booth.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it's not gonna happen without him seeing us. Because this is during the day too. Like, so we usually do a lot of stuff at night, but this was like impromptu. Let's go explore this place on Thanksgiving. And uh, last resort on the other side of the building, there was these like just glass doors, like main doors, like one of the main entrances. I was like, there's no way it's like open, but just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna just pull it and see. And sure enough, it was unlocked, and we just walked right in, and there was lights on in the hallway and stuff, and we started walking through more, and I mean everything's like cleared out and empty, all the desks and stuff are it's trash and stuff places, but um, the lights are on, and we got into like the big generating room, and there's just massive I don't even know what they are really, but you know, power station generators or
Yeah.
whatever everywhere, and catwalks and stuff. Yeah, we were walking on. We didn't have too much time. We do plan on going back there again to explore a little more in depth. That we now that we know where to exactly go to, we don't spend as much time doing that. But that was definitely probably, um, I think, my favorite, like more recent place I've been to.
Hmm.
That's still I kind of like the stuff that still has power.
Yeah.
Because like this place has been abandoned for like 10 years, but someone still pays.
Someone just forgot that their like subscription on their
Well,
monthly
I
bill
don't
is like,
understand that
I don't either.
because
Like you just that's got to cost so much money for like a 10-story
oh yeah,
building. You like can't
oh of
miss
course.
that. It's
I
crazy.
mean, granted, it is a power station, but like
Sure.
still.
Sure. So they're like for sure.
But
Like you're just paying yourself for your own power.
yeah, exactly. But funny enough, though, that asylum I went to
Mm.
on 4th of July, that place we actually restored power to it.
What?
Yeah, I have a video of that too. We went there a few times. Like I brought a couple different friends to it, and the one time I went, we like found this door that we didn't see before, or that was like always locked before. That I don't know if maintenance or something just left it unlocked, or someone left it unlocked, but it was never unlocked before, and there was no like damage to the door. They're all like metal doors
Yeah.
um, in the basement, and so we went in there, and it was like the main fuses everywhere.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, that's awesome. And then I saw this little monitor. Now everything's off, but I saw this little monitor that had power on that monitor. It showed ampage. And I was like, okay, let's just see what we can do and see if we start flipping things and we can see if we can turn it on. And we started flipping. We were reading the charts and stuff. I was trying to find like the main stuff, and we started flipping switches, and then um, we flipped enough. We flipped the main breaker, and the light turned on.
Oh my God.
And this place has been abandoned, like I think since like 2012.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it
What?
was crazy that they still have that, like, and they still pay for that.
Yeah. Like who's paying?
Like, there's
Like
no point for
what?
that. They
No,
let the whole
there's
place go to shit. So
Yeah.
like, why?
That's
I
so
don't.
crazy.
I never understand why a lot of these big places like they just don't sell it, or they let it sit long enough, but without selling it, they're like it just now it's worth nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Like what are you doing? Like
I
what is
never
happening?
understand that. Like, if you went out of business, maybe you should just sell the building at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And
at
like
least get some money.
yeah, somebody can repurpose it. Like here
Yeah.
in Nashville, there's an old Kmart that they transformed into a bowling alley, and it has like a concert venue inside as well, and like a bar, and like it's pretty sick. But it's like in the venue is like there's signs on the wall. It says like in the back of an old Kmart, and it's like the old signs and shit. It's pretty cool. But
That's pretty cool.
yeah, I mean, I think more people should like, refurbish these places before they go to shit. I love exploring, obviously,
yeah.
and I love exploring the decay and like the deterioration, but I do think that we should be repurposing the buildings instead of just leaving our trash behind. I'm like
Yeah,
very big proponent
for
of
sure.
that. Yeah.
And they do that to some buildings, which
Yeah,
I have like a love hate for that. Like I
Sure.
get it, but I want to explore it without like a tour.
facts.
So like they have like the Philadelphia like penitentiary.
Like Eastern State.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then they have the Crescent Sanatorium
Sure.
that they do, and then the like Penhurst Asylum. I was in there. I was in Penhurst. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I haven't been to
But,
Penhurst, but I know
okay.
a friend of mine filmed a live stream for a band outside of Penhurst.
Okay,
So
so I was in there before like they renovated and started doing tours of it,
yeah.
and they had that pretty locked down. They had like security or like alarms on every window and door. So like again, it was more of like a matter of time before they showed up. You just kind of like run through it, which is what I had to do. And they do that. I was at a seminary too that was like that. We were trying to find an entrance. We found a door that was you could push open enough. It was chained, but you could push it open enough to squeeze through.
Damn.
And when I did that, and my partner came through as well, she like pointed down, and I looked, and there was like a sensor.
Oh fuck.
And I'm like, oh shit. And I was like, all right. And that place has power too.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. And we had just left this other abandoned place 10 minutes away that there was 5 cop cars waiting outside.
Oh my God.
And we got away from them.
Wow.
And so I was like, okay, well, this alarm's going off. They're 10 minutes away because we're literally only 10 minutes from where they were. So if they get a call, they're just going to be 10 minutes. So I was like, we got like 0 time. And it was, again, one way in, one way out of this place. And I was like, all right, let's just run to the end here of the hallway, this long hallway, and see what we can see. And we did that, and I noticed this door open, and there was this alarm panel, and it was flashing. And I was like, oh, shit. All right, well, we know it's active now.
Yeah.
So we set off this silent alarm.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, all right, we literally have like less than 10 minutes now before, somebody would possibly show up.
Yeah.
So we had parked, because there's no way to park around there. We had parked on the property, which was pretty big, but I covered my car in like camo netting in between like 2 trees. Yeah, it actually blended in pretty good. It was within bushes and stuff.
Damn.
And we sprinted out of there, ran down, quick uncovered the car, threw all of our shit in the back, and I just quick reversed. And I didn't put in, I forgot, I left it at a 4-wheel drive, so it was a Bronco. And I just fucking put it in first gear and just floored it, and I was spinning and sliding up this in the grass and until it hooked. And I just hauled ass out of there. I was like, not today. We're not getting caught today.
Nope, not happening.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So like the place we went to before was this right before that, where the cops were outside. It was a huge cement factory. Yeah. And I found this, like, there was some lights in it. I guess they were using it for like storage in some buildings. So we didn't go in those buildings with the lights on, but there was these like 2 stacks. And there was like a stairs that go up into this, I guess they have like an office where they weigh the trucks and stuff with the materials in them. And it was all lit up. I have video of that too. And that I heard music playing. So I was like, there's definitely like somebody in here.
Yeah.
And it was the weirdest like feeling, because we had seen that earlier, and I heard it earlier when we were just walking this. We just left and we just went around to explore other parts of the place. And then when we came back, I was like, I'm feeling a little ballsy. I kind of want to like just see who's in there and then like run from them, just for shits and giggles. And so I slowly went up there, and I'm listening outside the door. There's like music playing, and I like open the door, and there's a fan blowing in there. So I hear that as well, and I'm looking around with my flashlight. There's nobody in there.
Weird.
But there's a radio playing, but it's covered in dust too.
That's crazy.
Completely covered in dust. And I'll definitely have to send you that video.
Yeah.
And it was really weird and just a little creepy. Everything in there was covered in dust, but like there was paperwork and stuff like that dated like the day before. And like they're still using it for something, I guess, but not for like what it used to be purpose for, because everything else was like run down and not in use. But I guess maybe they're doing stuff with storage or truck stuff there still. I have no idea. But you would think if it was like full-time use, it would be cleaned up, but everything's covered completely in dust.
Weird. That radio's been on since like 1992. It was like,
it was whack. It was an older song too. I forget what it was off the top of my head, but it was really weird.
That's creepy.
Definitely creepy. And then when we were leaving, we're walking out, like we walked in train tracks to get in there, and we were walking on the main road, because usually my exits are like more relaxed, because it's like whatever, we're just leaving at this point, so we haven't seen anybody, so we're just gonna, if we have to, we can run out of there. But we're walking on the main road to go out, and then I see near where we enter, there's like these four or five black SUVs in a row parked. I was like, I seen that road, like that's a road, that's not like anywhere you can park, so why are they just stationary there? I was like, they kind of look like cop cars, but it was like dark, so I couldn't really see. And then like we walk up a little more, and we're just trying to like stay in the shadows a little bit, and then the one of them turns its lights on, and like this police lights on. I'm like, oh shit, they're cops. And then I noticed like there's one of the cops got out of the car, and I was like, okay, well, that's the only way I know out of this place because there's woods surrounding the whole place, like
Uh,
and like deep woods. We were trying to do that earlier, and it was not gonna work.
yeah.
Um, and so there was like a construction site to our left, and the cops were on like the right. So we jumped the fence into this construction site. They were building a development, and we start running through that. And because I parked at this like CVS that was nearby, and that was connected to like this parking lot. They have like a gas station there and stuff. And we run through the development. We're trying to get back to my car, and I give my partner all of our gear, so I don't look really suspicious walking in a parking lot with like gear on. So as I like jump the fence, I just jumped the fence, and one of the cop cars comes right around the corner of the CVS with his headlights directly pointed at me,
Oh.
and I'm like, "This is it. I'm gonna get caught here. I have to either like fucking sprint back, and we have to somehow go hide in this, cement place for a while or something like that." But nope. He then turned right into a parking spot and walked into the gas station. I was like, "There's no way he was that
What?
oblivious that these people that just committed some crimes
Dude.
just walked by them. Like you were waiting for us. I know you guys were waiting for us, and you just let them. You know, you didn't even notice." And
Oh.
I quick like go over to my car. The cops are still out there. I'm watching them now because they're all sitting at the corner like talking to them, just waiting, I guess. And while the other one was in the gas station, and I could get my car, go around the back of the building, have my partner throw everything in, quick jump in, and we out. So
Jesus.
definitely not a close cause.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my God. So, if you could live in one place you've explored for an entire week, which place would it be?
Oh, that hotel, hands down.
For sure. I was going to
Yeah,
say it had to be.
it was the clean. They had even jacuzzis in some of the rooms.
Hell yeah. What do you hope for the future of urban exploring?
In for me,
Yeah.
I have like really big places planned. They're just a little bit further away, so they'll take like have to stay there for like a weekend or something like that. But we're gonna hit a few places. Do you know like Kings Park?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna go up there soon
Sick.
to check that out. That's definitely there's tons of buildings there, so that'll take us a while to get through. That one's it seems to be like a little easier to get in because like the whole place is like a park now.
Right.
You just can't go inside technically,
Technically, but like,
Technically.
fuck.
We're gonna go inside.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
there's I've been to places like I did a road trip around the United States and I found some random ones along the road. Like I found in New Mexico in the desert, I found like a motel
Cool.
and I just walked in there and actually a cop like passed. We're in the middle of nowhere, like maybe a building every like 50 miles,
Yeah.
and that was one of those, and with an abandoned gas station right next to it as well.
Dope.
And I just parked right outside, and I was just kind of walking through, and my girlfriend at the time, she was still in the car, and she's like texting me, "Hey, this cop that just like literally just drove right past." I was like, "Oh, well, I guess they don't care
Yeah.
over here. That's
Yeah.
good." It's like, yeah, I plan to travel a lot more. I have so many on my list that I need to still hit. It's just like the matter of taking the time to do it,
For
and
sure.
the drives and stuff. So.
Definitely. And last question for you is, what is something you know now that you wish you knew when you started exploring?
I think more like some of the rules I've kind of like taught myself and like others I explore with. I'm very select with like who I explore with now. There's only a few people that I trust because we do a lot of like higher risk places
Yeah.
because we get into a lot of these close calls that could be, tickets or arresting. If it wasn't with these people, it's just like I think mainly like the rules of what kind of gear you have to like bring, flashlight discipline at nighttime, like sometimes like the way you walk is when you can get like quieter. I think just like that kind of stuff, I wish I knew like sooner.
Yeah.
That would have probably helped me get into like a lot more places and like not gotten caught or anything like that. I mean, thankfully I've only gotten caught one time, which is too much for me, but
Agreed.
yeah. I mean, I can still say it's not my fault, but you know, yeah, I think more so, yeah, just that. And I think the people I go with is my favorite part about it.
Yeah.
It's just like that, experiencing these like places that not many people get the chance to explore with those friends.
For sure.
And I think that's the best part of it.
Yeah, I think the community aspect of it is a huge part of why a lot of us do it, the camaraderie behind it and all that stuff, and the stories and the memories. So if people want to keep following your journey, where can they find you online? What's your best social media for them to follow?
So my Instagram is UrbexLiving. It's one word. Yeah, that's pretty much what I post most of my stuff on. I do have a YouTube channel, same thing, that I have a link to. I don't post on it too often, but it's got about almost 12,000 subs.
Sick.
But getting there, you know.
Yeah. YouTube's a grind, man. I've been doing it for a decade. It's
yeah. I stopped being consistent on it, so
Yep.
I don't really care too much about it anymore at that point, because YouTube algorithm, you know.
Yeah.
Same with Instagram.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But actually, I did forget to mention. I don't tell many people this, but I got into this probably because it's a little more illegal, I guess, than most abandoned places. But it was a nuclear reactor control center.
Wow.
That still has power, and got into there. But I don't really want to post that everywhere.
No.
Not for a while.
No.
But that was definitely. I think that actually was definitely my favorite place. I try to like not say that to a lot of people.
Dude, that's crazy. And now you just told everyone.
I just did, yeah. Yep. Well, now the secret's out.
Secret's out. Now you got to post it. Nah, not really. But yeah, dude, the active stuff is crazy. Like, I haven't done too many active places. I've gotten permission to go into like an active, or not active. It's an abandoned nuclear power plant, but they use it for movies, and a band that I know rented it for a music video shoot, and they asked if I wanted to go explore it for 2 days, and I was like, you mean you're inviting me to go explore somewhere that I can go in? So I got to go into like one of the cooling towers, and like it was fucking sick. It was sick. But thank you so much for coming on No Tracers. I appreciate you talking with me today, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Well, guys, that was my episode with UrbexLiving. If you want to follow him on Instagram or YouTube, I've put his links down in the description for you. If you want to pick up some of the gear he recommended, I have put links to Amazon products down in the description as well for you. I also have a whole list of Urbex gear that I recommend. I am now an affiliate with Wondered, the company that makes my backpack. So if you guys want to pick up a Wondered bag, I think you can get a discount if you use the link in the description. Other than that, thank you guys so much for listening. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. And if you are a veteran listener, please leave a rating and feedback for me. It helps the podcast grow, and it helps us find more listeners just like you that love all things decay. If you want to come on No Tracers, hit me up at no.tracers on Instagram. And if you want to support the show, go to notracers.com/shop. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you next week. Stay strong. Keep enduring. Go out. Go explore something. And remember, leave no trace.